Welcome to WTSS Season 7, race number 6 at Iowa Speedway, the 4th race of the short track stretch. Here we are with Chris Dodd on the pole, your season opener winner at Canadian Tire. Championship leader Shrimp Engrits is looking for his 6th top 10 in a row to start the season off, to keep that perfect top 10 streak alive. Last week, we saw Alex Constantine's run of momentum get slammed to a grinding halt when he got involved in a track-blocking crash on the exit of Turn 2 from the race lead, which in turn gave the race win to pole sitter Ryan Reed, who ran away with it from that point forward. Iowa Speedway has seen many WTSS events in its history, but every single one of them has been under the lights and on the old pavement of this racetrack. As you can see, some of the old pavement still stands, but the inside lanes of both corners have been freshly repaved with new asphalt. It's going to bring a whole new challenge of drivers trying to manage their tires and find the grip around the inside and outside here at the high-speed corners of Iowa Speedway, the fastest short track in the country. Chris Dodd on pole alongside a struggling William Duncan. Maverick Motorsports has yet to find their feet on these short tracks, but it's looking promising with Duncan in 2nd and Chris Louviere back in 7th. Chanarong Wongzawat, another driver who absolutely needed a good qualifying to pick me up on this season. But enough of the pre-race chat. Chris Dodd is on pole looking for his 2nd win of the season. Can he do it? We'll find out in 150 laps time. Pace car pulls in. It's Chris Dodd and William Duncan, your front row. 150 laps around the largest short track in the country. And Dodd takes the green and we're underway at Iowa Speedway. Into the first corner. Duncan with a good run around the outside, but that inside lane with the grip in the middle point of the corner, but a great exit for the 66 of William Duncan. Through 3 and 4, at the end of lap number 1, they're still dead even between them, but I think Chris Dodd is going to lead at start-finish to lead lap number 1, but it's still all to be battled for this top spot as we're 3 wide behind. Wongzawat with a slow start loses ground early. Almost contact. Gibson through the middle. Nearly hits the left rear of the 08 on the exit of Turn 2. We're still 3 wide down the front straightaway now with point leader Shrimp Engrits. Into the wall goes Chanarong Wongzawat.
Hard into the wall.
Contact with Daniel Voiles. That is a huge hit for both of them. And Dodd's going to clear. Dodd's going to clear out front. Chris Dodd officially leads at Iowa Speedway.
Maybe getting a push from Angel, and that seems to be the difference.
More close quarters racing. Eugene DeMax and Ryan Bolden. Bolden now drifting up to that 3rd lane, up in the dirty stuff. He's going to get up into the wall on the exit of Turn 4.
No.
There's just no grip up there on this fresh new asphalt. Still 3 wide, though, as a result. They've got to make sure they behave themselves because these corner exits come up quick and the walls approach really fast. Mitchell Carter's dropped all the way to the back of the field, and so a race weekend where they have no sponsor money funneling into that team, it's really not what they need to be running at the back. As another car, Allison Figueroa, drifts up into the wall. As this track is going to rubber in, it's going to be better to find grip on the outside, but as it currently stands, we are having all sorts of people all over the place as they try to find every inch of this racetrack.
It's a detriment of having this new pavement in the corners. The meaning, because there is that pavement.
Again. The same too as the first lap.
Because of that little asphalt strip, everybody wants to have a part of that grip. You don't want to go out there, or your car is just gonna, gonna lose all of that grip. That's why they're so close to each other. Everybody wants a piece of that black pavement.
Test car nearly turning the 08 on the exit of Turn 2.
Man, Wongzawat is suffering, bro. Oh, wow, actually cleared.
Duncan clears around the outside for 2nd on Sean Angel. Wongzawat has absolutely struggled for pace on these oval races. He did pretty decent in the opening 2 races, or the short track specifically. He's done pretty decent in the opening 2 rounds at Canadian Tire in Michigan. But other than this 4th place qualifying today at Iowa, it has been a torrential time in that number 08 camp on the short tracks.
Which is interesting, because I'm pretty sure I gave him a higher short track rating than I did him.
Yeah, I think it all just comes down to the combination of what the driver can do and what the team can give. Because I think Sebastian Van Dalen is just driving through any issues that car faces. He has been a savant on these short tracks for somebody who's never driven on one. As Chris Louviere peeks underneath for 4th place on Mark Nutt.
Nut.
Whatever teething issues Maverick was having on the short tracks to start off this short track stretch, by the 4th and final race of this 4-race stretch, they seem to have figured something out between 2 of their cars at least.
Yeah, those 2 cars are running good, and the other 2 are looking all right. Nothing.
Very good signs for the Subaru outfit.
Yeah, I mean Jeff's. Well, I mean Jeff's still kind of on the struggle bus, but Will Hoyt's gained a lot of.
Wow, what a
that
up 11.
I think someone hit the wall in 2.
I saw that in the background. It was Jeffrey Finn guy in the 92. He didn't hit it. It doesn't look like. I think he just went up and scraped it on the exit of 2. But it's
He's fine. 17's short run pace is come to a screeching halt.
I think
it's more that. I think it's gonna get a little harder to pass.
Louviere has cleared for 4th place as William Duncan attacks Chris Dodd for the lead here at Iowa, lap 11.
This isn't going to be a very easy pass to make, I think. You know, the preferred line is going to probably be the bottom line. I think you can make the top work if you have a fast enough car, but you're going to have to generate that run.
Constantine in the wall, exit of 2.
One of multiple cars, I think. I think he was following DeMax and Beniaco and kind of drove off a cliff with him.
Yeah, the difficult thing about Iowa here is the corners have such high speed that it's hard to generate a run on the car ahead of you. It doesn't matter how well you nail the corner. There's only so much you can gain on the car ahead because it's not like a Richmond or a Martinsville where there's heavy braking zones and like you have to nail the throttle off. It's the fastest short track in the country. I mean, it's the corner exit speeds are about the same as the corner entry speeds here, and as a result, you got to basically force the guy ahead of you, like pressure them into overdriving the turn to make a run.
The way you're going to make passes here is not out braking someone. It's how you take the corner. There may be a dozen different ways that you can approach it. You can diamond it. You can enter high, exit low. You can just wrap the bottom lane. Some may have different effects on your tires, but it's really not that hard to get stuck in or to get away from that dirty air. You know, you're going to have to be good at multiple different ways of driving this track, and that's why it's so difficult to be good here.
You can almost use your tires on the edges of the seams in the different sections of asphalt as sort of like a grappling hook on the edge of these seams. It's where that little crevice is. If you can hook your tire right on the side of that, you can find grip regardless of what line it is, because it will sort of like guide you through the corner like a railing on a bowling alley lane. You can just sort of, if you can get the right line through the corner, even a higher line, which wouldn't be preferred, can sometimes give you the pace that you need. And we're starting to see some guys really ripping the seam through the middle of the corners. As these tires wear out, the higher lines are going to start to become advantageous because grip is going to be at a premium at all costs later in this run. Look, speaking of grip at all costs, Chris Louviere has found more than anybody else around him. He's caught the top 3. Louviere is absolutely a driver that needs a pick-me-up. Maverick Motorsports as a whole have had a rough go at the start of the season. 5 mechanical failures throughout all of the sessions up to this point. 6 if you include Louviere's engine failure in qualifying. But luckily for him, there is no back-of-the-field rule for engine changes and was able to keep his position. But that is definitely still going to be in the back of all 4 of those drivers' minds as this race progresses. But I definitely think it's an easier pill to swallow with that knowledge when you have more to focus on at the front of the field than just languishing in the midfield like they had the last few races.
Chris Dodd is backing the field up right now, all the way down to basically maybe even outside the top 5. They've all caught him. Duncan has been hot on his tail for a couple of laps now, but look at the entry that Dodd is doing. He's entering near the middle of the corner and is exiting a little bit low, and this is going to be the best shot that Duncan sees, but you see, look, he's going to enter near the top of the seam and then go all the way down. That is a great defensive line by Dodd. there's not really a lot that Duncan can do. The only counter to that is by getting fully alongside him in the corner. And it's clear that Duncan and maybe even Angel in them are faster, but like I said, you're going to need a lot more than just speed to pass here.
Speaking of faster than the others around them, Yuki Tamura from 15th on the grid. All these short track races, we've been talking about Roush Racing Enterprise speed, Roush Racing Enterprise speed. And this weekend in particular is the one where we really haven't seen the true potential of those cars on the short tracks like we have in the previous races. But Yuki is showing that they still have something out there because she's come up from 15th to 9th and appears to be pulling the Patrick Smith and Daniel Giroux cars up towards the middle parts of the top 10 as Mark Nutt now attacks for 4th on Chris Louviere to try to get that spot back. Talk about somebody who... another driver who needs a pick-me-up. I can't believe I'm saying this, but a 22nd place finish right now would be the biggest pick-me-up for Brandon Krasta right now. That whole outfit from Canadian Tire in the opener to this weekend at Iowa Speedway, they have seemed lost without any answer for their pace difference from last season.
Here we go.
As we have a battle for 3rd now, Chris Louviere is the only driver making moves happen. But as you can see, as these tires wear out, it's going to get harder and harder to hold that inside lane.
And there you go. You saw the outside lane work there. Theoretically, you can pass on the outside. It's going to be difficult to get up there, but that is a good alternative way to try and get by people, as you see Bisceglia.
What you saw there was the 57 missed
could be
the
under
seam.
threat by Mark here.
57 missed the seam through 3 and 4. That's what happens if you can't hook it right. You overshoot the corner and you can leave yourself vulnerable on the exit. The 27 got underneath him as a result, but luckily he was able to carry more speed on the entry to turns 1 and 2 and swing back around the outside. But that's something you leave yourself vulnerable to, and if you miss the corner bad enough, you're not going to be able to respond back in the next set of turns.
Duncan is still the fastest car on the track, I think, but Dodd has picked it up a little bit. The top 5 is getting just a little bit more strung out.
Yeah, for sure.
They were basically bumper to bumper, but I still think Duncan is significantly faster than Dodd. He just hasn't really been able to set it up well.
Man,
and Dodd is doing a great job defending.
No primary sponsor on the 69 this weekend, and you can obviously tell they did not bring their A game. They're probably cost-cutting a bit to keep that car just on the racetrack in general. But I don't think they probably intended to be this far off. They didn't qualify last. They were bottom half of the field, but he just dropped to dead last within the first 10 laps of this race, and Mitchell Carter is now on the verge of going a lap down within the first quarter of this race, if he's not careful.
Looking at Wongswat's all the way to the back of the grid as well.
Wongswat, well, that's also damaged. Duncan to the bottom for the lead in 3 and 4. Hugs the yellow line on the inside.
Good run, but
look at the run Dodd got.
Dodd gets a great run on the exit.
But that was a great exit from the 66 to be on the inside lane still. Through 1 and 2, Louviere peaks under.
This is going to be a big test of the outside.
Dodd
What's going to be the preferred line?
Duncan is so strong on that bottom lane, though. Dodd could not keep him back through 3 and 4.
You're going to have to pinch him down if you want to keep the lead here.
Still side by side.
It's still advantage Chris Dodd for now. You can see Duncan having to check up a little bit, drives him up the track.
Man,
meanwhile, Louviere's looking under Angel for third.
Now I think momentum is in favor of William Duncan. Dodd's going to need a really good run off the corner, and that's exactly what he gets.
But
he couldn't keep his foot on the gas.
Lock in.
And Duncan's going to clear.
Duncan tries to clear on the entry to turns 1 and 2.
Wow.
Dodd gives one last desperate attempt to keep the position. William Duncan leads lap 32.
That was a great effort by Chris Dodd. And I think if he got a better run off, like if he just had a faster car, it can work.
From the 83.
Louviere got tight on the exit. Mark Nutt sneaks underneath. Angel underneath Dodd. It's all going off now as Chris Dodd has been uprooted from the top spot.
And look at that. William Duncan is just going right now.
He's gone.
You can see that, you could tell that Duncan was getting held up by Dodd really heavily, and he's just running away right now.
I think as a result, it might have saved the 66's tires.
Absolutely, just biding his time and being patient has paid off for that 66. He waited until he had the perfect opportunity to go down the inside and have that advantage. Dodd had been working himself so hard. Louvier to the outside of Mark Nutt.
I think that's what you need to do.
It's like 3 deep. Second onward.
Look at the run he gets.
Wow, and that was a great response because Mark Nutt had pulled back ahead of him. Oh, he's going to fight it on the outside, but he's actually going to have the momentum off. But that's the problem, though, because he's going to soon have to encounter a car that is obviously slower than both cars in that battle. Chris Dodd is struggling. He's going to lose second here to Sean Angel in about a corner's time, it looks like.
Looks like he's lost it now.
Yeah, he's already lost it.
And he's going to be the one that Mark Nutt can use Chris Dodd as a pick now, who's on that outside, and try to peek underneath the 8 as a double move. But
oh, Chris Dodd could clear, though. He could move down.
He can move back down to the bottom now if he chooses. He barely gets down.
Oh,
But
that's
he
a
gets
blessing in
uprooted.
disguise for Chris
No, he
Louvier,
won't.
but... Oh my
Louvier
goodness, this is
does
close
not
quarters
lift on the
racing.
exit of turn 4. I can't believe he held it.
Louvier might be getting a good run, not to keep him at bay.
And it's a good exit. He's going to have the preferred line into turn 3 here. He can clear if he wants, but he chooses not to.
Quite.
No, he doesn't.
Not quite.
But he's going to have a...
You
Oh,
can
look at
charge
that.
it
Look
in
at
the
that
corner
83.
a lot harder on the bottom. But you see that exit speed. That's the
83
cost of it entering hard.
That 83's just got great exit speed as well.
And he clears for real this time.
Wow. He can go set his sights after Dodd now.
You
Meanwhile,
kind of
Yuki
saw that with
Tamura.
Duncan too. The Mavericks seem to have great exit speed.
Tamura has...
Daniel Giroux has been on
Dan
the charge.
Giroux actually just overtook Tamura. I was focused on the 60 appearing in this battle. She's running
Oh,
up
for
on the
God's-
top there.
Yeah, that's
Trying to
Yuki.
rip it around the outside. I can't believe she's holding it this hard around the outside, especially without getting in the wall on the exit of the corner. That's as far as
That
close
was-
as you can get.
Dangerously close by Tamura.
Playing with fire, but it has not burned her just yet.
Kinda is.
Oh, looks like Allison Figueroa at some point, or that might have been the contact with the wall we saw, but in the first 5 laps for Figueroa, that is massive right side damage. That's probably the most damage outside of Wongzawat we have on the entire racetrack right now.
I think that battle with Dodd and Louvier told us a lot about how this race is going to play out.
Speaking of Dodd
I
and
think that
Louvier,
Thank goodness, yeah. The Dodd is he just doesn't have it this run. He needs a big adjustment. However, I think that the outside lane is going to be the preferred passing lane here. You saw how far off Chris Dodd was off the pace, especially compared to Duncan, and he was able to hold his own for a solid 5 or 6 laps. So I think that's going to be the preferred line, but they are relatively even. I think it's going to be really interesting to see side-by-side battles like this with Giroux. See who prevails. It's not going to be an easy pass no matter who it is.
and it's really interesting to see because you don't normally see the 2 lanes this evenly matched on a racetrack, let alone a short track normally, and it's a game of what does your car's handling characteristics tell you, because if you've got a car that's sort of a looser car, you're gonna want to try and keep it on the outside. You got less steering angle on the thing, you can keep it better off, but if you've got a tighter car, or it'd be the other way around, my bad, the tighter car on the outside, a looser car on the inside, because it's just otherwise you're feeding into the bad characteristics of your setup, and it's going to be harder to pass on those lines.
The key word for this race is going to be patience. Because of this new pavement in the corners, your car is going to feel really comfortable in that new tarmac. You feel like you're going to be able to put the throttle all the way down, and you can do that in qualifying, but you cannot do that for the race because the straightaways are that old pavement, and believe it or not, you are going to wear a lot of tires.
You see that? That's what I'm talking about.
You have to conserve your tires.
The pavement strip ends before the corner ends, and so if you're way up on the top, you end up in the dirty stuff on the old pavement. As Duncan catches the 69 of Mitchell Carter at an inopportune time, and has now been put vulnerable to Sean Angel.
Your tires can spin like a top.
Oh my goodness gracious! I can't believe a tire issue for the 66, and he turns Sean Angel up the racetrack into the wall. We don't have a caution. caution, but and Mark Nutt just retaliated against his own teammate.
Oh my God!
What was the point?
That's
This
a
is-
caution.
More than a caution. What is going on between the Hamilton and split
What a
cars?
disaster for
I
the
think
leaders.
Mark Nutt was trying to get down to the pit lane. I think he was trying to get down to the pit lane, and I think
Duncan was trying to
Wow.
get down to the pit lane, and all of a sudden Chris Dodd is back in the lead.
And just
sure
like
just
that,
won
that
that
was
race.
that somehow
Ball
turned
one.
into a blessing in disguise
Oh,
for the
maybe.
66. The caution, if they can get that 4-tire stop done in time, or it could even be just a 2-tire stop, he'll stay on the lead lap. It's a 4-tire stop. Okay.
Yeah, but he's got a
There
lot
is
of work
nobody
ahead of him.
happier to see this
Come on,
caution and
go,
to come
go,
down to pit
go.
road than Chris
It'll be
Dodd.
good.
Go, go, go.
Yeah.
We got
Dodd
we got
was
people
he's
staying
on
out.
heavy
before.
We
defense
got people
here.
staying out.
I think it actually worked out.
Engrits, Frazier.
It shouldn't have.
And Stavanaugh. 3 people stayed out. Shrimp Engrits, Bobby Frazier, and Jake
Right.
Stavanaugh have stayed out here. I think that should mean these guys... Oh, it's going to be borderline on fuel. It's going to be... No, it won't be. No, they can't make it. They'll be about 20 laps short.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the should be around like 80, 90 laps on a tank of fuel.
I'm not sure what it actually put me.
I think that is a. I think they're just gambling for track position right now. I think they're probably banking on another caution to try and even things out for them a little bit, which honestly isn't really that bad of a play because I don't think any of those drivers were really doing that well.
I think there may have been... Oh, Yuki Tamura and Chris Dodd got shot past their pit stalls.
Of course they did.
Got shoved past their stalls, so they're going to have to come back around. And it looks like they've chosen not to come back in, so they've made their bed now. They've decided retroactively to not pit here. So they're on an alternate strategy now. I'd say that's the best call because otherwise you're starting at the back of the field, and that's hopeless with how hard it is to pass around here. And I think
Louvier got by Chris Dodd.
yeah, Louvier got by Chris. I think they were throwing the kitchen sink at the 8 car in his adjustments. I also think that the 11 of Logan Hill got shot past his pit stall as well. It looks like, and so we are now with Louvier, Dodd, Giroux, Bichelia, and Duncan, your top 5 of the cars that have 4 fresh tires on them. So
How
actually,
did Duncan end up at 5th?
somehow, some way, William Duncan has ended up only losing 4 net positions out of that.
Yeah, it's like, I mean,
Meaning-
it could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse, but it also just shouldn't have happened in the first place.
That is as lucky as it gets, though, because I thought for sure, and I had this horrible sinking feeling in my stomach when I saw that car slow. I thought it was another mechanical failure on that 66 car.
On a technicality, it was.
I just don't know why these things just keep happening.
So
One to
championship
go.
leader, Shrimp Engrits, is the leader. Every single car in this field will have to pit one more time to make it to the checkered flag. So everybody's on technically equal footing, but it's 50
don't
lap
know.
old tires for the top 6.
It's gonna be very borderline,
It's-
like I said.
It's like
The on-track pace will be night and day.
like shit's not fucked, but like the fact that I lost like the lead is still pretty bad.
A tire issue
That's
that
good.
early on can also scream aggressive car setups because that car was really quick compared to the others around him, but I think he could have been working his tires too hard. Every car manages to stay in the race. Mark Nutt and Sean Angel continue on even with their massive damages, but their races are effectively over. Shrimp Engrits takes the restart and we're back underway. The top 6 cars are on
great
50
restart.
lap old tires.
Look at Chris Dodd trying to go on the
Really?
outside.
God.
Chris Dodd, Dan Giroux underneath of him. But they're all
Drew
look
was
at
the
that.
big winner off
Look at
that
how
pit
slow
stop.
the 11 is holding up
Oh,
the 83
boy.
on the exit. 3 wide.
Looking under there. Michelia, here
Look at
comes.
Dodd.
Look at
3
Dodd
wide.
on
3
the
wide per
outside.
second.
Can he get to the outside of Logan Hill? What a move,
Swings it
Chris
around
Dodd!
the thing too hard. No, he
God.
doesn't. He makes it stick. Unbelievable.
And
He's
gonna,
not done yet, though. He's not through.
No, because
He's gonna be behind the 60 now.
Shuffles up the racetrack right in front of the 11, but he gets through. What a crucial move by Chris Dodd. He takes the effective race lead.
Oh, but for how long?
Yeah, can Yuki Tamura hold
Now
it
you're
on the
gambling
outside of
on
the
what
11?
lane prevails
Is he
here.
gonna try and shove it down the middle?
Ooh!
Nah, don't do
There's a
that.
Bumper to the 60.
We're only a third of the way through the race. We can't be this aggressive already. Dan
Look
Giroux
at
wants to go
Bisceglia.
to the high side.
Buscelli is thinking about going 3 wide
Dan's
again.
up to second.
These guys in the front are
Look at the
Are
outside
gambling
lane.
on
They're
a-
working it.
gambling on a quick caution, and with this, they might be getting it. Sooner rather than later.
Who's going to get through these old tires the fastest?
Here comes
Dan Giroux
Duncan.
looks like a rocket ship right now. He was moving his way through, was in the mid-teens, moved his way into the top 10, had a great stop, is now in the top 5. Duncan making it 3 wide.
Duncan tried to go through the middle on Giroux and Logan Hill, but he actually has to back out of it completely there. I don't think he meant to make that move. I think he overshot his braking and had to take an evasive maneuver.
That 66 hasn't been this deep in the pack before. They've been in second or the lead all race long. They're not having it. They didn't have to deal with as much dirty air as they are
Don
now.
puts the bumper to Jake Stavanon, just shoves him up the racetrack.
Well, he has to do that.
He's
Look at
being
Dan on his
pounded
back
by Giroux.
bumper.
The rookie Daniel Giroux right there, as Bobby Frazier and Shrimp Engrits have only had the lead for 6 laps, and they're already about to lose it to the guys that restarted 7th and 9th.
Look at the run he got on the bottom. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
but that's the problem. Traffic ahead with old tires on the inside. Look at Duncan. Oh, man.
Look at that.
Woo!
That is the power of the 50-lap fresher tires.
Swing it into the corner. Chris Dodd leads.
Almost put himself in the fence there. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
He was
The
way
power of
high.
the fresh tires.
That was too much.
He made that look easy.
And Duncan's
The lap
gonna keep
cars
the
are playing
momentum run
defensive
through.
on Dan.
We're on the outside of the 96 now.
Well, they're not lap cars. They're
Unbelievable.
on the lead lap. They are allowed
And the
to.
lap cars are not being very nice to Dan right now.
Well, that's a
They're
problem.
on the
They're
lead
not
lap.
even
They are allowed
Yeah,
to
they're-
battle as much as they want.
That's the thing.
Well, that's true.
Oh!
That's true. They're banking on having a caution as soon as
Oh,
possible.
Frazier goes underneath Engrits.
Oh, why now?
They're
Wolf
holding
Rangers
up
in the
both
top?
lanes now.
Now what do you do?
Yeah, Dodge just won.
You wait.
Someone's got to take it 3 wide because it's going to be multiple seconds per lap lost here if you don't.
That is.
It looks like the bottom is going to be the best one. Here comes
Oh,
Dan.
man, and
That's
you've got
not.
to feel for the 66 of William Duncan. He was
God
en route to
fucking-
take 2nd place. Here comes his rookie teammate Jeff McLennan underneath.
God.
And Will
damn
Hoyt.
it, dude.
It's a Maverick party at the front of the field.
It has.
Something's nominable.
I mean, Duncan might not be liking his deal right now, but Maverick has been having
Holy
a great
moly.
turnaround this race.
2.5 second lead for Chris Dodd now as a result of that restart. He made a crucial swing around the outside there, took the lead of the race, and hasn't looked back. James
We have
Gibson!
a couple in. Yeah, look at them.
The Procrastination Junior Motorsports partnership this season have had awful short track cars through this entire 4-race stretch. But here he is, up in the 4th position, mixing it up with the leaders.
This is a position in the race that we haven't been in yet. Chris Dodd now has a really big lead, which he hasn't had the generosity of having all race long. And we have a new sort of faces in the top 5. Who has it and who doesn't?
Top 10 are all on fresh tires. Bobby Frazier's the leader of the old tire gang.
We did see this at the start of the race. Dodd got out to a pretty good lead and then was reeled back in by Duncan.
Louvier finally clears Yuki Tamura for 14th.
Buscelli got held up.
The old tire
substantially as
runners
well.
are absolutely smothering some of these people back here.
Chris seemed like he had the fastest car, and now it looks like he's going to at least need another caution if he wants to get back in the mix.
Every single car in this field cannot make it on fuel. The fuel window that was predicted coming in this weekend was 80 laps maximum. Those guys pit on lap 50 under caution. They'll have to maybe pit at the minimum with 20 laps to go.
I'm not sure. I saw some teams saying like they could go possibly 100, which that will be very interesting.
It would be if they could
getting
pull it
around
off.
the inside of
Jeff
the-
McLennan
Ooh.
with an aggressive outside line through 3 and 4 there to try and keep teammate Will Hoyt back. Chris Louvier still dealing with the slower, older, tired cars. He now catches Engrits, and there's only one more car left to go in Bobby Frazier as Mitchell Mark approaches the 96 there.
Despite
and
being
the 92 of
pressured.
Looking.
The 92 of Jeffrey Finguy reports he smells coolant in the cockpit. He can smell it coming up through the
That's not
hood.
good.
That's not a car that's going to last long without pit intervention.
Yeah, that Finguy Saitomi car, that is... They've been having issues all year, pretty much.
It's got to be their second or third mechanical failure just for that 92 car this season. Hard in the wall, Mitchell Carter.
There's a lot of drivers.
And he led the Army off the cliff.
Lost grip and turn.
Carter left.
And
Finguy's in. Carter left the Army off the cliff there.
Yeah,
and
was that a reaction? Was that a reaction to Finguy signaling to the pits?
I'm not sure. I almost wonder if the cars behind Carter thought that he was panicking or reacting to something ahead of him, and they just followed suit. Daniel Voiles is into the pits. He's on an engine failure. Engine failure.
Oh, no.
Is that an engine failure? No, I thought that was smoke, but
Tamura.
it's not. But that's damage for Yuki Tamura.
Oh, come on.
What happened
There's
here?
been an incident at the back of the field. Tamura has been turned into the inside wall violently and spun back up the racetrack and almost got absolutely obliterated by Daniel Voiles and Jake Stavinoff.
And that is a continuation.
That was test guard.
And that is a continuation of Tamura's miserable season.
I got to see more on that. We saw test car turning the 60 down to the inside wall, but how did that happen?
It was on a straight too. That's interesting.
It was on a back straight.
Tamura on the old tires. Oh, that was during the reaction phase.
Nowhere to go. That was just wrong place, wrong time.
Tamura just
How
cannot
was that not a larger
Tamura
accident?
just cannot catch a break. I swear
Yeah, that-
God, man.
It was
No,
insane.
it really has not seemed like it. Chris Dodd catches the
How bad
lapper of
that
Ryan
curve
Bolden.
Right.
Bolden 1.3 seconds off.
Oh, look at the gap.
And immediately,
a full second put into Dodd's gap. Giroux has been about 2/10 a lap quicker than Dodd without lap car intervention, but look, he's there right now. Giant lead gone.
Dodd having trouble with the traffic.
Lunged for it.
Here comes Gibson and Patrick Smith. Here comes Gibson.
Gibson going for second.
Oh,
Who
where
gets
do
the
you
right
go? They're all
lead?
fanning out.
They're all trying to find a way
that's
through
going to
Ryan
give-
Bolden.
Give Giroux.
Oh, Dan gets forced around the outside.
Dodd cuts
Could be a
underneath.
blessing in disguise.
And now they're holding up the outside
Smith
lane.
cuts underneath.
Look at
the two.
Gibson.
Second.
James Gibson almost on the apron through 3 and 4, trying to find a way underneath the 8.
Boy, where did he come from?
I'm not sure, but this is night and day compared to the short track program the 75 has had so far this season. Same with Ray Takada, qualified outside the top 35 in qualifying. Crescent Enterprises really seemed like they could not figure anything out, but they obviously have with the 50 car. The 49 of Hujion's a different story, but the 50 car of Ray Takada is making progress.
That's fine.
And the big loser out of that whole ordeal was Daniel Giroux, was in second, hunting down Chris Dodd, and is now all the way
Gibson
back
for
in
the
fourth
lead.
place.
And the 45, Nugroho reporting fuel pressure issues. Trying to find a way through.
Oh,
Carter sideways.
Carter. And on the wall again.
He's got to get down now. Yes, he does. He's going to come down.
That car
Great
is
heads-up
very
move by
loose.
Nugroho.
And Gibson with the nose ahead.
It's not going to be an easy pass. You saw how hard it was for William Duncan to get by Dodd. That
But
8
Dodd
car
has to-
is pretty happy around the outside, but Gibson gets a run on the bottom. I think
Dodd has to lift.
that's probably
Dodd
going to
has
be all
lift
she
that
wrote
turn
here.
four.
Yeah.
A last charge in the corner from
yes.
Dodd, but Gibson clears for the lead.
And suddenly, the 75 in the lead hasn't been
And
seen
James
anywhere
Gibson,
near that all
wow.
season.
unexpectedly
Did you see
leads
what
the
Chris
race.
Dodd just did on the outside for a second? That was
Yeah.
incredible.
That's been Dodd's
Trying to
favorite
stop the
line.
bleeding here.
Dodd's favorite line has been ripping it around the outside there.
Oh, Patrick's car is really happy on the bottom. You saw he got a great run down there. Diamond it down.
Dodd got a pretty
That's
good
how you
run,
combat the
Hey,
top
there's a
lane.
car affiliated with James Gibson approaching up to the field. Something has happened in the Dodge camp with the procrastination and Junior Motorsport
But
combo.
just gets held up by Bolden. That
Cresta gets held up by Bolden, though, as
great
a,
opportunity.
in reaction, though, but that's 12th place. That's a Those are heights that that team has not seen all season. Man, Bolden's car is wounded heavily and slow.
I have the feeling someone's going to turn that car.
Krasta makes the dip around the outside there. Right
Yeah,
now, anybody who
Great.
stayed out during that first caution is going to be bordering on the edge of their fuel window starting soon. Depending on how hard they've been pushing and what they were able to save under caution. As the lappers, the two Roush teammates that just got involved in that incident go a lap down.
Maybe at some point this season, Yuki will get a result she deserves.
There's more lappers up ahead. That's Logan Hill, one of the drivers who stayed out on those old tires. That was absolutely the wrong call from every driver who did that. And that's
Angel
crucial
as well going a lap
because
down.
one of those drivers was championship leader Shrimp Engrits. That was a gamble they absolutely did not need to take. They could have just taken the safe strategy and probably would be up in the top 10, maybe even the top 5 right now.
Ooh, tough go there for Gibson. He's boxed in.
He currently is. Angel on fresh tires, but a wounded race car flies around the outside of the 11. The old tires are now almost a second slower than the new tires per lap. Some of them even are a second slower, like Logan Hill. Gibson pulls around the outside to keep the lead. Patrick Smith gets boxed in. Chris Dodd doesn't have the opportunity to try his favorite move once more, and now presents an opportunity for Smith to look down the inside into one possibly, but can't. Dodd will fulfill that move around the outside to take second back.
This is a position that Dan Giroux needs to be in. He needs to get by Patrick right here, right now, if he wants to keep his shot at a win alive. Patrick is stuck there, but you see he overshot the corner. Rookie mistake by the 2 driver.
Yep, he could not capitalize. Jeff McLennan is going to be the big loser in the battle between his teammates. He drops out behind Duncan and loses out all the way down to the 81 of Sebastian Van Dalen, possibly for 10th place. And you see Chris Louviere approaching this battle. We said he was one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. He's proving that right now as he's caught back up to this massive battle for 5th place. That means that Maverick's team is running all their cars 5th through 11th, all 4 of them. That's crazy. Dodd taking an opportunity with the lapper of Shrimp Engrits. Tries to cut underneath Gibson, who nearly turns the 59. They touch again through the middle of the corner.
They can't fight too hard, or it's just going to let Patrick and Dan get right back in this fight.
Yep, they go underneath. That is gut-wrenching for Shrimp Engrits' crew. They were going for the perfect 6 top 10s in the first 6 races. They had the safe strategy. If they had just pitted under that caution, they wouldn't be in this situation right now. They go a lap down now after only 35 laps of green flag running. Look at this absolute cluster back here being headed up by Ryan Bolden. Absolute chaos on the exit of turn 2. Trouble off of turn 2. Hujian gets into Scott Roush. They're spinning into turns 3. Crash. Kale Teskar Jr., Chanarong Wongzawat involved.
That's not a great spot.
The race leaders are coming through 3 and 4 right now. They cut underneath. They avoid the accident, but people are still going to have to react all the way to the caution flag. Gibson will lead us at the yellow.
Oh, man. That was so close for Engrits. That was so close to working out for him.
Engrits does not get the free pass, does not get back on the lead lap by avoiding that crash, and will have to start from the inside on the front of the field there. And that is huge. Every single driver can now feasibly, comfortably make it to the end on fuel now. But the question is, who takes the tires? Instead of a 50-lap tire stretch, it's now only been about 25 green flag laps in total.
Take it.
Will Hoyt is the first taker. We have a split strategy at Maverick. 2 Maverick cars stay out, 2 Maverick cars pit. I think that's spreading their eggs decently well there. A lot of people in the bottom half of the field have nothing to lose. They're all in, especially the damaged cars like Teskar, Hujian, Scott Roush, and Chanarong Wongzawat there. Wongzawat's a lapper though, so he'll have to pit the next time by. Wow. And it just looked like Hujian got up into the wall, got hooked by the 6, and it was all she wrote as they came into turn 3. And it was tough breaks for all of them, including Teskar, who was starting to make forward progress up the field, and Roush, who was edging towards starting to finally get a chance to climb up the order.
Must have sold my soul for that second place, because I have been kind of not. But
now some of the lappers are going to be coming into pit. Let's see how the landscape of this top 10 is going to look now. The drivers who stayed out and are going to commit on 30-lap old tires are Gibson, Dodd, Patrick Smith, Dan Giroux, William Duncan, Sebastian Van Dalen, Chris Louviere, Roberto Crown Jr., Scott Roush, and that's it. I think it's only
That's
9
weird, 'cause
people.
Roush was involved in that wreck.
Roush got a piece of it, but it doesn't look like the damage is too bad. Yeah, 9 people. 9 people are staying out. Instead of people staying out on 50-lap old tires like the first caution, it's people staying out on, I think it's 27 or 28-lap old tires. So it's about half the tire wear. We'll have to see how that fares.
It was really bad for 50.
It was.
I don't think it's going to be much better for the 30s.
Yeah, we'll have to find out how quickly it'll fall off if it's as bad, because once the track rubber's in, the tire wear will get better.
Of course, a quick caution could completely disregard that.
Yeah.
And with how people have been racing and with how jumbled the field is going to be, I could see there being a quick caution here.
And where's Will Hoyt now?
He came out of the pits second, so he's 11th.
I see.
I think this is also a combination of these teams having never driven on this new repave, really not knowing where to put their eggs, like their basket. They really just don't know where the move is, because we all saw 50-lap old tires was not the way to go. Everybody that chose that strategy ended up a lap down by basically every single one of them ended up a lap down.
How would 30 fare?
Bobby Frazier. It's about 27 laps. If my math is correct in my head on these tires, it's about half of the tire wear that we had before. The top 9 are all committing to it. Guys like Scott Roush and Roberto Crown Jr. had nothing to lose, but everybody.
Well, I mean, the top 9 have to be kind of yellow.
Louviere up to Gibson, all were running in the top 11 positions before that caution, so they are taking a risk to make this work. Everybody comes to the restart.
For it.
Shepard and Hill are not going to get to rejoin the back of the field in time for this restart. The pace car pulls in. James Gibson, chasing a first victory in nearly 3 seasons, leads us back off a turn 4. We're back underway. Crucially, there's not going to be any lap traffic in the way of these people on the old tires. They're all going to be on the inside lane and all going to be able to be dealt with. But some of these guys, the lap cars-wise, are going to be on newer tires. But the damaged cars, that's where it's crucial, because you can get a chance to just go around the outside of the cars that already have a wounded race car. Now we'll get to see where the grip difference is. Mitchell Mark is the leader of the fresh tires, but a quick caution could easily give these guys time to heat cycle their tires and try to equalize the grip as much as possible with the fresh runners.
Once again, reiterate, the 6th car is wounded.
Yes, and we've got almost up in the wall and in the wall. Crashed down the back straightaway. Ryan Reed's around. I saw Wong Sawat again crashed back up the track into Mitchell Carter. And both of them are out of this race.
That's a tough go for Brandon.
Well,
Tough hill for
that is a
Carter and that Bendover Racing unit.
Yeah.
Gibson leads back to the caution, and now what do you do?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I thought Dan was about to pit.
Dodd and
These
Smith
guys are all coming in.
Dodd and Patrick Smith have bailed. They felt the grip on the restart, and they felt like it wasn't good enough, and they've come in. But that means that 7 drivers are left on this strategy now.
I don't know why I'm not doing
6 drivers. Scott Roush is in, but I think that's more for damage repairs than anything.
What are we?
Ryan Bolden is contesting a position under yellow, and he gets ahead of the 28. As I didn't quite see the full picture, but I think I saw Ryan Reed on the outside 3 wide there on the exit of turn 2. And that was... It wasn't on the outside 3 wide. He just overshot the corner, and he was the first man to catch the wall.
Well, that wouldn't have been a wreck if Wong Swat didn't completely blow the corner in the middle.
Wong cleared himself. Oh, Constantine. I didn't even notice he got involved. Did Constantine do a full 360 and continue on? No way. Did. Unbelievable save from Alex Constantine there. I'm not even convinced he got damage from that. I think he just got clipped in the right rear, did a 360 and kept going. Krasta and Carter, though, however, not even going to make it back to the pit lane.
Yeah, real meeting of the minds there.
Oh, man. Close call from Logan Hill on the outside there.
that's something.
And Chris Dodd, Patrick Smith, and Scott Roush, by pitting under that caution, have conceded that they believe they were on the wrong strategy and have given up every ounce of track position they had up to that point, and have basically given up on today's race and have just banked on the people on the old tires having a worse time. Wow. Well, Gibson in the lead once more, still chasing a first win in almost 3 seasons. Dan Giroux in second, William Duncan in third. The leading driver on fresh tires, Mitchell Mark, in 7th. It'll be interesting to see where this strategy plays out. With just 55 laps to go this time by, we'll see you at the restart. We're back here at Iowa. The pace car about to pull back into the pit lane. It's going to be 54 laps to the end of the race. Gibson, Giroux, Duncan, Van Dalen, Louviere, and Crown Jr. on about 27 lap older tires than those behind. We're back underway, and because of Sean Angel and Yuki Tamura being the lead 2 cars on the inside lane, all of those 6 names I just said got a huge advantage for this restart. That's crucial. They need that breathing room. I mean, it depends on the grip difference. 3 wide! What a move from Stavinaugh down low!
Oh, there are things happening back there.
Down the front straightaway, everybody losing their marbles almost into turns 1 and 2.
Oh, we're free.
The Yuki Tamura car holding everybody up. We're 3 wide on the exit of turn 2 by multiple rows. I see Constantine back there on the top 3 as well. The top 6 stay as they are. It's not as stark of a difference from when they were on 50-lap old tires. The guys on fresh tires are not just mowing their way through the order. Look at that aggressive send through the middle from Jeff McLennan on Jeffrey Finguy, and he pulls it off.
I don't know when Jeff got damaged, but he's driving like it doesn't matter right now.
I think he was a part of that group reacting to the accident that got up into the wall, but it does not appear to be affecting him. Bobby Frazier on the move underneath Eugene DeMax.
Oh,
DeMax!
Oh, DeMax with an
Engine
issue.
failure for the 4 car.
Oh,
is
that's going.
that gonna be another yellow?
Everybody trying to find a way through. Constantine clips him. Everybody makes it.
He's still under power, so no yellow.
And Eugene
Hyundai
DeMax
moment.
has another trouble on the short tracks. Look at Jeff McLennan move. He's about to take the lead of the fresh tire runners.
Oh, I didn't even realize he was on the fresh tires.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
he
was.
was one of the 2.
Louviere and Duncan were the 2 that stayed out of the Mavericks, and then Will Hoyt and Jeff pit. Oh my God, Bobby Frazier! Frazier takes the lead of the fresh tires. Now we're starting to see that tire difference come in.
Yep, beginning to carve his way through.
Yes, now it's starting to come in. The older tire runners are starting to hit that performance cliff now, and these guys are gonna have to use that performance advantage as quick as they can, because eventually they're gonna hit that cliff too. Mark trying to rip it around the outside to keep ahead of Tristan Wilhoit and Jeff McLennan, but it's Bobby Frazier who's the one on the biggest move.
That car is a rocket ship.
It absolutely is at the moment being. Wilhoit clears Mark. He's now 2nd place of the fresh tire runners.
Having a hell of a time with Crown, though.
Bobby Frazier is 2nd place now, chasing race leader James Gibson, and it looks all but hopeless for the 75 to keep that lead. Unbelievable grip difference.
Yeah, I was very skeptical about people staying out, and that looks like it was definitely the wrong option.
But the progress that Frazier's made compared to the other fresh tire runners is completely night and day. Wilhoit is still trying to get through for a top 5 position on his own teammate, while Bobby Frazier caught the lead probably about 5 laps sooner than these guys are going to. Look at that. Wilhoit is actually having to contest the 83 of Louviere through the corner. I don't know what they did to that 96, but he is flying.
Now he's having issues getting past Gibson.
That's that passing opportunity. That, like I said, these corners are so fast. If you're too close behind somebody, you cannot generate a run because there isn't enough room to do so or any braking zones to make up the grip difference. You got to make it up on taking creative lines through the corners. He's going to eye up a move this time. But Gibson is doing such a great defensive drive right now. That is a great defensive drive. as Wilhoit finally
Meanwhile,
gets
it is-
through on Louviere. But crucially,
Yeah,
he's
it is-
still having trouble getting through on the fresh tire runners.
Everyone's
Or on the
still
old tires.
jockeying for position back there.
It really looks like
3 wide.
the old tires are actually not that bad. It looks like. It just looks like whatever they did to the 96 has made him leaps and bounds ahead of the whole field. Wilhoit clears the 81 of Van Dalen, but it's still a snail's pace clearing these guys right now. Mark has still not even gotten through one of them yet. And we're 3 wide. Aiden Shepard gets shoved up to the top, as does Jeffrey Finguy. Oh, man. So close quarters right there.
Oh, and meanwhile, the pole sitter, Chris Dodd, he is just mired in the back.
3 wide again. Constantine, who looks to have been in the wall at some point on this restart, is underneath Jake
He
Stevens and Daniel
got-
Boyles.
I think he got caught by a car.
Oh, no, it was the right side of his car when he clipped DeMax on the way past. I totally
Yeah,
blanked that out of my
yeah,
memory
there was
already.
Max.
Man, they're going crazy back here. That is an absolute send from Logan Hill, who clips the apron mid-corner, and Yuki Tamura just
Whoa.
bails out of it and goes up and brushes the wall. Frazier has still not found a way past Gibson.
Those 2 cars. I feel like we've been saying that a lot, but 2 cars are just above and beyond the rest of the field.
It's been a tale of this season so far. There's just a couple guys that figure it out faster than everybody else, and they run away. Happened at Michigan. Happened at Canadian Tire. Happened in Nashville for the most part. Happened in Memphis. It's a tale of actual
Happened in
just superstars this season.
happened in Richmond.
It did happen in Richmond, yeah. Tales of twos. If Wilhoit can find a way through on Duncan and Giroux here, the longer Frazier gets held up, the worse off it's going to be for him, because the farther the tires are going to equalize. I think James Gibson has played a defensive masterclass, and I think it's already paying dividends. I think that 96 is still quicker, but he's not as maniacally quicker as he was on that restart. He looked like a bat out of hell chasing down the field, but now he's still struggling to find a way past the 75 on corner exits.
Yeah, it looks like he's been able to kind of wait out a clock.
Roberto Crown Jr. appears to really be the only old tire runner that is struggling hard. And even then, Mitchell Mark still hasn't found a way past him. That's where we're at right now. Only 2 drivers on the fresh tire strategy have actually made forward progress. That being Bobby Frazier and Tristan Wilhoit. I mean, we saw how crazy the grip difference was with 50 lap old tires.
Frazier's looking, but nothing going.
No.
Still.
I think there's something you're failing to consider is fuel, or the guys hadn't bitten yet.
Well, yeah, but I'm more saying that there would have been a similar fuel load on the cars that were on 50 lap old tires earlier. I think the track is more rubbered in, and I think the tire wear is less effective than it was then.
Also, I feel like the cautions probably.
Whoa!
probably gave them
Contact!
enough-
Fabio
Oh
Villalobos is
no!
around!
Oh, Jeff caused that.
Doesn't come back up onto the track.
Oh, caution's already out. Okay.
Okay, that already. Okay.
James Gibson takes the yellow, and now what do you do?
Talking into the wall there.
Yeah, people trying to get back to the caution first there.
I think I have a guess on what happened there because I think Jeff was frustrated being behind the slower cars and not be able to make progress because I saw him go through the middle 3 and then suddenly there was a wreck right around him. I think he caused that.
Was it a rookie mistake from Jeff McLennan there that caused that? We'll find out in a moment's time. I don't know why I'm looking at lap 98.
Yeah, that's way far back.
Yeah.
McLennan was stuck behind the 46 of Roberto Crown Jr. on the top. Crown was struggling, losing grip all over the place in front of these guys. And I think he just finally, that rookie impatience that we saw from him last week in Richmond is, yeah, it just dives underneath the 28.
Forces the issue.
And then the 28 gets hooked by the 45 of Nugroho down into Fabio Vitavasa.
Yeah, granted, he didn't make any, to be fair, he didn't make any contact, but that was the move that set off the dominoes.
Not a soul has come in. I think all the drivers that are on these old tires have realized, oh wow, I can actually put up a fight here. and are choosing to not give up the track position, which means that poor Chris Dodd and Patrick Smith are ruining their decision right now because they absolutely could have stayed out.
It feels like everyone kind of has what they have.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna win a race on these tires, though.
I think the only driver on the old tires that has a chance of winning is James. I think you're not going to make forward progress on the older tires, but it's going to be hard for the guys behind you to even pass you. I think that's a real testament to the way that this new track surface is rubbering in so quickly. Anyways, James Gibson, the race leader still. He's managed to hang on to it for this long, but he's got to hang on to it for about another 30 laps. Bobby Fraser on fresher tires, hounding the back of him, and everybody has now been bunched back up for a late race restart at Iowa Speedway. We'll see you at the restart. We're back at Iowa. James Gibson is going to come to the restart. It'll be 31 laps to go. It's basically a short track shootout to the end of this race. Will we see more cautions? We'll find out shortly. Gibson, Fraser, Giroux, Duncan, Wilhoit. We're back underway, and what a lightning restart from the 75 of Gibson.
My.
That is what he needed.
Massive.
Gibson, Gibson caught Fraser sleeping.
Yeah, he's actually.
And if Fraser's not careful, he's going to get stuck behind the 7 of Bolden. He will!
Or worse.
That was something.
Unbelievable! But Bolden's got fresh tires. He goes around the outside of the 75.
Oh,
and now suddenly Gibson looks more vulnerable than I thought.
That massively fast.
That actually doomed him.
Fraser to the outside.
Woo!
He follows the 7 through. Bobby
Amazing
Fraser
run.
leads in Iowa.
So what is going on with the 66?
Duncan almost up into the wall. He's clinging onto the last life that those tires have left to give him. Bobby Fraser leads and will continue to extend that gap as long as the guy in second place does not have the same tires as him. Oh man, all of the fresh tire runners trying to get back on the lead lap. Look at Nugroho, Engrits, and Stavenall hounding the back of the 75, all trying to find their way through. Nugroho's hard in the wall!
In the wall hard.
Oh.
Massive damage for the 45 on the right-hand side now, and he still misses the corner in 1 and 2.
That 66 has got to decide whether to let the 17 through or not.
Do you play the team game or do you play the points game?
Well, right now, neither can be done.
No, right now there's not an
open.
opening. But if one presents itself, will he give the 17 a hard time? Here comes McLennan as well. He might not have a choice in the matter. All 4 Maverick cars are under a blanket here. That's a nervous moment for that team. And we've got a problem up ahead. An engine failure for point leader Shrimp Engrits.
Oh no!
That is massive.
And a terrible day gone absolutely unsalvageable now. Engrits is in and into the pits and out from 28th. Wow, I did not see that one coming at all. DJ Curtis, the man last in points coming into this weekend at Iowa Speedway. He's up into the 4th position on those fresh tires.
Now the floodgates have opened.
McLennan's gotten through on the 66, as has Figueroa. Figueroa with a great recovery drive. And that's the 17 of Wilhoit trying to follow through as well. Unreal scenes at the Hamilton Autosport pit crews. 3 cars either involved in an accident or with an engine failure out of their entire 3-car stable. Gibson is playing the defensive masterclass with lapped cars now. He is still keeping everybody behind him like his life depends on it. And I think that is true to a degree, because the more cars the guys behind him have to pass, the better it's going to be for him. DJ Curtis having probably one of his best WTSS races in recent memory in the series for him. As Engrits has officially called it quits, they cannot fix the car and is out. Alex Binyako into the mix now. Just got past his team car, Daniel Giroux, who's on old tires. as we have just over 20 laps to go left in this race. Nugroho clears the 75 of Gibson, and now we have hit the absolute limit of what these tires can give, and it'll now be a struggle through the rest of the race if this thing stays green the whole way for the guys that stayed out earlier on. This is what we were seeing. This is now starting to become what we were seeing on that first restart with the 50-lap old tire runners. You're basically on the tread of these tires now at this point, and you just got to ride it out till the end. You've made your bed. Gibson is manhandling that car to try and keep the second position. He's keeping as many lappers behind as he possibly can in between himself and the fresh tire runners approaching fast. And the question is, who's going to be the first one to make the move? Look at DJ Curtis nearly up in the wall on the exit of turn 2 there. And as he's on the outside about to make that move, Aiden Shepard gets shuffled up to the top right in front. Logan Hill trying to find a way through on the 75. They're all trying to find a way through on the 75, actually. There's more truth to that than you'd think. Oh, what a dive from Alex Bignacco to get underneath the 11 of Logan Hill and put himself with a good position at going after James Gibson.
Are we going outside? Looks like we're going outside. Oh, no, Will Hoyt still hasn't picked a line.
I think Will Hoyt is indecisive right now because both of those are for position ahead of him. He just doesn't know which line's going to carry him further. As Bignacco, from 100 yards back, underneath the 75, shuffles him up the racetrack, forces him into the middle, 3 wide, and Logan Hill hits the wall on the exit of turn 4. Absolute chaos on the front straight. Gibson fighting for everything he's got left in the tread of those tires, but he loses out to Alex Bignacco for second place. He keeps third for the moment being, but it's really going to be a fight to the end of the race for him. It's 10 seconds the advantage. Bobby Frazier to Alex Bignacco now. Finally, he has a car behind him on equal tires to him. But it's too little, too late, unless the caution comes out. Now comes the question of what position can Gibson salvage? You don't want to defend too hard because you don't want to get turned. That's the big thing right there. You don't want to end up getting yourself wrecked because you're slow. Dan Giroux is hanging on barely to the top 10. William Duncan just lost his top 10. Every driver just clinging on to what's left of those tires at this point. Gibson's the only one who's been able to benefit at all from it, and he's barely staying in it. And he's going to fall out of the top 5 within the next lap or two. It's not going to be pretty. He'll fall back to the end of the top 10 just like the rest of these guys. I think this was a learning day for some of these teams on what to do and what not to do in future races here at Iowa because there really was no notes for them to learn off of. Gibson now drops out of the top 5, loses 6th, and is going to be vulnerable to Will Hoyt soon for 7th. Giroux unable to keep Stevens back. Stevens goes underneath. The wounded Ryan Reed car on fresh tires trying to find a way through as well. And does. Gets underneath. That's Hu Ji Yan in the 49 trying to approach the top 10. And crucially, that's Mark Nutt. That is your reigning champion. And that is the car that we saw get absolutely smashed into the outside wall early on in this race, salvaging a possible top 10 out of the day.
Am I really gonna have a shot to win this race and I'm somehow gonna leave it still with 0 top 10s on the year?
That's what it's looking like. Bobby Frazier has now caught some of the heavier, slower lapped cars here, but it's even if he got held up by them lap by lap for the rest of the race, he would not lose this race still. That gap is insurmountable without a caution. They're going to go 3 wide for position right in front of him. So this will be an interesting moment in time for Bobby Frazier here. See if he can keep his composure. Yuki Tamura, oh man, she's just got nothing left to give today. up on the top there. Just trying to stay out of the way of the leaders, it looks like. Battle for third, DJ Curtis, Allison Figueroa, and Jeff McLennan. 2 rookies versus 1 veteran. James Gibson still trying to hold off Tristan Wilhoit for 6th. It's going to take a lot, though. It's going to take a lot.
No, he's got it.
No, we got a few laps.
Coming to... It'll be 7 to go this time by for Bobby Frazier. 11 seconds ahead of Alex Beniaco. Bobby Frazier has never been one with the best of luck in the WTSS. Bobby Frazier Motorsports as a whole have always been one of those teams that seem to just never find the pace. They could never find the setup speed. Always seemed like an afterthought on the score sheets. But here he is, approaching a victory at Iowa Speedway.
Will this be his first win, like, in...
It would be his first win in 2.5 seasons, his first since season 4. And it would be the team's first win since then as well. Let's go get a closer look at Gibson, who is, again, he has been the defensive master of the race. Absolutely. If there was a Driver of the Day award, it would go to James Gibson right now, even if the scorecard's not going to show it in the end.
Matter of fact, 17 might lose a position, actually, because he can't get around the 75.
Jake Stevens is approaching this battle now. Wilhoit gets aggressive, tries to put the bumper to the 75. Can't find his way underneath yet. But he's absolutely found the sense of urgency now as Ryan Reed and Jake Stevens approach. Four laps to go as Bobby Frazier now goes around the outside like he's hot lapping right now. He just lapped Chris Dodd, who is somebody on equal tires to him. So that is they absolutely put everything together at the right time on that 96 when they pit him. Wilhoit actually finds himself vulnerable to Jake Stevens, but this might be a blessing in disguise in terms of attacking the 75 here.
It's not.
We'll find out. Round the outside. 75's just hovering it in the dead center of the racetrack. Nobody else is doing that. That is just how good he's been defending all race. Not allowing any line to find a way through on him. We're coming to the white flag this time by for race leader Bobby Frazier. White flag in the air, heavy traffic ahead. All he has to do is make it around 4 more corners. And it'll be his 2nd career victory. He capitalized when everybody else faltered on the strategy. They gave him the adjustment he needed to drive the fastest car on the racetrack all day to the victory through 3 and 4. Bobby Frazier, 2nd career win, 1st in nearly 3 years. He wins at Iowa Speedway.
A great run for that team.
Alex Beniaco comes home in 2nd. A good result for him. He's much needed. DJ Curtis from last in points to a podium.
12 seconds between 1st and 2nd on a run that was around 40 laps.
Yeah, wow. And it looks like Stevens got both Gibson and Wilhoit in the final corner there for 7th and 6th.
Whoa.
But it is the victory for Bobby Frazier at Iowa Speedway. The rest of your top 10 is as follows. Stevens, Gibson, Reed, Wilhoit, G. Yon, your top 10. Then it's Nutt, Mark, Drew, Duncan, and Van Dalen, your top 15. The rest of your running order is as follows, with 2 engine failures from Shrimp Engrits and Eugene DeMax, and 2 drivers that could not finish because their cars were in pieces. Brandon Crasta and Mitchell Carter, who's still looking for sponsorship on that car. Iowa Speedway did not disappoint. The teams were learning every lap of the race, And it turns out that pitting for fresh tires was always the correct decision, regardless of what caution, regardless of what the tire wear was on the people staying out. Bobby Frazier took advantage. He ran away and dominated the end of the race. Congratulations to Bobby Frazier on his second career victory in the WTSS here at Iowa.